welcome to E-Magazine. I'm your host, Brenda Nyamichaba. You're right on time for Trendy Friday, where we look at the business entertainment topics that have been trending throughout the week. And of course, I always have special guests who join me to break down the conversation for me and to just give you guys an idea of what their perspectives are on the conversations we have today. Now, joining me today is the one and only James. I am not going to say that last name because I really think I'm going to shrub it. And he is from a Tribe Arts Group, short for OTAG, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he does before we jump into talking about our trending topics of the day. Thank you so much for joining me, James. You can just share your last name because I just don't want to embarrass myself on live television.
It's not as hard as the third one, to be honest, but it's Kaminjuki.
Okay. Wonderful.
People love it, by the way. I love
it
as
is
well.
Really nice. I've never heard it before. I think it's the first time.
Thank you, man.
So tell me, what you do at OTAG? What is, OTAG all about?
Right. Really, I'm the project lead at OTAG. OTAG is One Tribe Arts Group. We're really just independent content creators focused on the music business and entertainment in Kenya. So that's really what we do.
Okay, and being a creative within that space, how have you been dealing with the whole COVID-19 impact? Because I know it's affected like creatives and the entertainment space industry like globally. Right.
I mean, the good thing is it's for everyone. No one feels like you're working harder than me because, in the entertainment sector, I think we're so competitive.
Very true.
You're just mad as hell. But at least now it's just pause for everyone, reset button for everyone. And actually, it's forcing to think about now how to connect to the audience at home, because what's the one thing that this has taught us, to be honest, is it's given us a wider reach in terms of audiences. For performances, us guys who also do events, events give you like 5,000 people at any given time. But now that you're doing things online, it opens up the borders.
Audience, a bigger audience.
Yeah, so I mean, as much as there's that negative impact for nothing is really happening in terms of performances, in terms of physical ticket sales, I think we have a lot more to gain focusing on the audiences we have 100%.
Online. It's definitely opened your eye to a different channel, a different type of audience that you really never thought you could actually penetrate towards.
For sure.
Wonderful. Then we'll just jump into our conversation for today.
Let's go.
We're starting off by looking how the global cinema business is falling. Now, the COVID-19 impact has had a substantial impact on the film industry, mirroring its impacts across all arts sectors. Now, across the world, and to varying degrees, cinemas and movie theaters have closed, festivals have been cancelled or postponed, and film releases have been moved to future dates or delayed indefinitely. Now, I just want to jump and talk about, what your perspective about the cinema business is right now, especially that COVID-19 has hit hard, every sector you can think about. But I feel like, the film industry, the music industry, we are really suffering because we just don't have a backdrop, to help us move through this.
To be honest, I doubt the traditional method or the traditional construct of this business will change in terms of the box office mechanism or in terms of physical sales for big record labels.
Yes.
I highly doubt that will change. What may change, though, are the elements to how we do this. So even for IMAX and closing the other day, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just a row between the managements because the owner of the building says these guys haven't paid rent since August or something, up to August or some funny vibe like that. And for me, I just feel like, honestly, the traditional method won't change, but we have to revise what it means for, going forward, what that means for us guys in terms of rent, because it's sad to see a place like this, such an iconic thing, closed down, to be honest. It's so sad to see it.
And I'm happy that you brought it up. It's actually something I wanted to talk about as well. Like, when you had that, you saw the news that they're even auctioning their facilities out there. Like, what did you think? You're like, wow.
Yo, if I had a couple M's, for sure.
Buy that stuff. I thought the same
thing. One time. Because honestly.
Make a home studio.
Yes, because even for us, for us guys right now, in the entertainment business as well, we don't have indoor arenas in Nairobi. Very few, other than the one in Kasa, very few. And right now we're trying to see, even for us guys, what's the new thing? What's the new venture in terms of entertainment, in terms of events? And for us guys, we're saying if you're going to do a lot more awards now, Kisima shut down, Chagua shut down, but if we revive these things, we'll need indoor arenas for these things. So a place like IMAX, such an iconic place, it gives us such an opportunity to do these things, because I'd convert this space into an indoor arena for events post-Rona. So I mean, if I had a couple M's, that's exactly what I've done.
I like your perspective. I like how you know, not taking this as a loss, but thinking, yeah, well, you could create something else out of this.
For sure.
So I just wanted to note that, you know, there's some news going around. Actually, there's news I read that Shanghai cinemas are to receive 2.5 million US dollars in government subsidies. And so basically the Chinese government is stepping in to help some of the cinemas who have lost business and a lot of money throughout this. And we know China is one of the places where the box offices go mad like crazy. So they've lost so much money. Now you're seeing how the Chinese government has stepped in to help them. Why don't you think our Kenya government is doing the same thing? Why do you think they prioritize, you know, the film industry, or should I say like the creative industry as a whole, and see that it's an opportunity to make money from this industry?
They're disconnected, plain and simple. These guys don't know anything that goes on in the industry. I was talking to someone the other day, I was telling them musically. I was talking to someone, I was telling them, you think about these guys at the MCSK. If you walk up to one of those guys and they're old as Sijui what.
They're old by then.
Yeah, just tell them to name 5 artists currently in the circulation radio waves. I kid you not, they won't tell you. They won't tell you anybody. So if they don't know that much about music, and it's a kind of the industry that really pops right now, tell me what they know about this type of business.
100%.
Nothing. They don't know anything.
I like how you put it that way.
So to be honest with you, I think that disconnect is really hurting us. But you know what? We move. We must move. We are still a very young country. Tulipata independence just the other day, 60 years, less than 60 years ago. So we're still trying to, you know, get our balance.
Let's hope in 5 years the government will, you know, put in place people who connect with this.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that, but also we must fight.
Yeah.
If we don't go through the doors, we'll come through the windows. If not that, we'll bring the roof down. But for sure, we have to.
Okay, it's just like the other day, I think people were, you know, dissing Ezekiel to just because he was saying, oh, it's because, you know, I think he was talking about some of this Gengetong music, the music videos, talking about how we need to pray for these individuals, they need to go to church. What are your thoughts about that?
Ezekiel Mujo honestly just needs to be more present. I think his initiatives are right. I mean, they're fine, but his approach is so reactive. He's a guy who reacts to things. He's not proactive. This is a guy who knows about Gengeton when a song is released.
That's when he wants to talk.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything prior. So I think his heart is in the right place. He just needs to change his approach. He needs to be more conscious about this industry, to be honest. So if he doesn't, he playing.
Now, do you think the cinema business overall will ever recover from this hit that we had from COVID-19?
As I said, the traditional method and construct of the business box office will never change. Never change. I mean, that's why, I mean, as much as Disney, the big guys, Sony corporations are doing streaming services now, they'll never change the idea of box office because that is orchestrated.
Yes.
It's purely an orchestrated business. Don't ever think a movie is blowing up at it because it has nothing. This thing, they plan these things.
It's very true.
So, I mean, as much as I mean, as long as it's going to be under human influence and control, they'll forever run the narrative. So that's not going to change anytime soon. Don't expect it to.
100%. Thank you. I like how you put that. Now we're just going to move on to the next thing. Still looking at the creative art space. And Britain will invest nearly $2 billion in the arts and hopes to allow outdoor and socially distant performances at cultural venues as it tries to help a high-profile sector hit hard by the coronavirus. So we'll just talk about you know, Britain also, just like Shanghai, just like the Chinese government stepping in, Britain is stepping in to put money out, $2 billion actually, to help the art space. What do you think about this? Is this a very good initiative? Why is it even important for the creative space right now?
Oh man, it's really important for both sides of the table, the entertainment industry and the government, because honestly, the amounts and the percentage the arts industry contributes to the GDP of that country, just globally, is insane. I think there are countries where a third of its GDP comes from the entertainment sector.
Yeah.
So I mean, it only makes sense for them to factor it in their hesabus. I mean, you must make sure that industry doesn't go down, because if it does, that's a huge part of your GDP. So I think in this time of this pandemic, honestly, us guys are locked down. Creatives are creatives. So we'd figure out a way to do this, but now honestly, our construct is purely art. We can't do performances, and that's why we kind of get a bulk of what we make. So I mean, it's only fair for them the government that is, to think about us in this time, because for now we are seriously like this. Until they get our vibe together, they need to kind of step in. And I'm happy that, you know, that trend is happening, because over time, even for us guys regionally and locally in Kenya, we have to. I know the stimulus package of 100 mic helped us a lot. but we have to do a lot more here in Kenya going forward, and I pray that they also realize, because our industry is still valued, our Kenyan industry, entertainment industry is valued about 2.2 billion. That was in 2017.
Yes.
I think that number has
so
gone
I'm pretty
higher.
sure the number's gone high right now.
For sure, and it's
years
only going to
later.
go higher because remember this 2.2 billion, I'm sorry I'm running my mouth, but 2.2
it's okay,
you've
continue
given me that
talking.
opportunity, I'm just going. So this 2.2 B in 2017 was based on a number of artists. Now we're talking
a range of artists.
Yes, over Kenya we have over 15,000, and that number is only growing. And those in the mainstream industry also realizing, you guys, we need more people. That's why even for me with this Gengeton vibe, I'm sorry I'm going there. Okay. As much as we are, you know, kind of fighting kidogo on the content with these guys, we're like, you know what, come in. You guys come over because we need you guys. We need these numbers to show these guys, you guys, this industry is about to go. So I think I predict in about a year or 2-3 years, our industries are going to be worth 5.5 B. And at that point, you can't ignore us anymore. You cannot. Right now, you can afford to.
But when we get to that point, the government won't even afford to ignore you guys.
They won't. Honestly, it's going to cost them a lot more than they think. And for now, you know, the fact that they're not connected just means they don't know what's going on. But as soon as they start catching wind, and it's happening slowly, as soon as they start catching wind, and we have now more artists going into political positions, hey, it's about to change.
By the way, that's very true.
Yeah, it's about to really...
I'm loving our conversation, but I unfortunately have to pause this right there. We're going to take a short commercial break, but do not go anywhere because E-Magazine is not over yet. We have more information and more trending topics for you. I'll see you right after this.